Hold up, man. Hold up, man.
You don't hear that anymore.
You don't hear that anymore,
man. You don't hear this is hip hop for me.
Yeah,
right here. This is
Yes.
This is when I'm in the streets of Brooklyn.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? But there are Flatbush.
Yes.
Yeah, when me out the road.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When me and Frank Ralph McDaniels is in
Video music box.
Video music box. You know what I mean? When we're there Starlight Ballroom. When we're there.
Ooh.
You know,
You feeling that, right?
You know what I'm saying?
It's sweat. It need to be sweat in
yeah,
that room.
when we're there Biltmore. When we're there Dynasty.
Yes.
I mean, this is what I'm doing. When I'm walking in, I'm seeing Dame Dash, and I'm seeing Jay, and I'm seeing all these dudes, and they're all on the mic. You know what I mean?
Gripping.
And they sitting out there when Ralph McDaniel sending out greetings, doing shout outs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That hard shit. You don't hear
that no more.
Nah, man, dude. I walk in here and I was like, ooh, I'm in a time lapse right now. I feel like I want to move.
It's hard. Let's take them back.
You know, I don't get into a lot of that, man.
Yeah. Can you go off of this right here?
Listen, you gonna put me on the spot already?
Yes.
Of course, man. Of course. Yes.
Yeah, me say. Dep on the telling me and Buster Ellie, me telling you Shelly say that you better tuck in your belly, say belly so Shelly. Don't like it pregnant for Ellie and want step in on me video with your belly so Jelly because me so love up on the mic and me a talk it. Let them know say ragamuffin when me walk it. Up a sway on the whole place, and when me there so you know say that the whole place. Hey, me and me have figure out the talks.
Come on.
Dress up now me suit like a tux.
Come on.
And me a sip me Starbucks.
What?
No feel away you this away me. Hey, cause you a chat down pan sway and so me so love me no play and you me run the mic when I and I DJ This a boy rock it everywhere and hey, because me lyrics them tight and me dress up in a full suit of off-white and and everything extra tight and me so love there so all he's in a sway, me say he's in a sway.
What?
Mr. Lover there, Rasta know me no play.
Come on.
Listen when me hold the microphone and DJ.
Yeah.
This a DJ, you not a rock and
Off the top.
I felt like you needed to get that off your chest right there. Shaggy is here, ladies and gentlemen.
And I'm rusty. I ain't done that since like Flatbush, man.
Oh man,
Big up to Screechy Don and the original, man. Them when we used to, and James Bond and a couple of these cats when we used to be rocking on the sound system, Gibraltar sound system. Big up all of the sound system, them from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Why is it used
Sons
to
of
though?
Junior.
You don't. Nobody's doing that no more.
I'm too busy, man.
You're too busy.
Fuck over. Sitting here telling me about freestyle. I'm talking about paid style.
There it is, Shaggy.
Fuck out of here, freestyle.
But that's where the roots.
I hate
came
that
from,
word,
man.
free.
You don't like the word free?
Fuck that. It's paid style.
Paid
I ain't got
style.
time to be sitting down
But
there trying to cultivate lyrics like that shit. Please.
It's changed the game. To change.
I mean,
for
I
you.
could, it's no. I have the ability to do it, but I ain't got to sit down there.
It doesn't interest you no more.
Ain't nobody pay me for that shit.
He proved himself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Thank you, my darling.
Yes.
That's crazy.
It's global. You know what? 25 years. You know, almost 30. Or I've lost count.
Yo, talk your shit, Shaggy.
Yeah,
we were just talking about DB. Just brought up that you're the only
living certified diamond selling artist, reggae artist.
Yeah, Bob. Oh yeah, because Bob is. But
Yeah.
Bob is in good company with Bob Marley.
Yeah,
It's great.
Yeah, that's amazing, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what? On this album, I decided to say some things because I realized in this game that if you allow them to rewrite history, they'll rewrite and write you out of it.
Oh my God!
So it just got to a point where I just like, you know, and I had a couple of things to say because you had some people sitting down there talking, trying to create their own truth.
Oh no!
Give me an example. What do you mean?
So
What are people saying?
They know themselves.
Mm-hmm. What would they say about you? What do they say about you?
Mature some word in this new album. They know themselves.
They know
what I'm saying?
themselves.
So if anybody else out there trying to think that I'm talking about them and feeling like I'm throwing words on them, if you matter of fact, if the cat fit weird, I give a fuck at this point. Really. You know what I mean?
What are they saying about you though? That when you say they're trying to write you out of history, or what are they not saying?
Oh no, it's because we've done so many things, like you have said that. You know, what I mean, we're there's a lot of things that and maybe it probably is a fault of mine because I feel that I should be I might want to be a little bit more subtle. I don't want to say subtle. You try very hard not to make ego get into the way of everything. But we've accomplished everything. In 1993, we did Old Carolines. That's the first dancehall record to ever go into the British chart and go to #1.
That's from the Pure Pleasure album.
Right, on the Pure Pleasure. That's the first dancehall record to hit the British chart is the equivalent to the Billboard in England. It's the first one to go to #1.
Okay.
Then I was labeled as a one-hit wonder or a rock because it was a cover, and it wasn't really a full cover because I changed up a lot of the shit and wrote, I did a hybrid because I'm the hybrid man.
Okay.
And then I was criticized by the purists at that time for saying, he's, because according to them, I don't look the part. He's the nigga Puerto Rican.
Oh, wow.
I get all kind of shit.
And I think you were Jamaican, bro.
Yeah, and I'm in Brooklyn, so I might speak English like I might.
Like me.
Like you, you know what I'm saying? It does make me less Jamaican, you know what I mean? But if y'all want Jamaica, I'm going to start talking, Jamaican, a different argument. But I might have Maxie Priest taught me that. I was in Brazil one time, and we were doing an interview. At that time, I was fresh. I was doing background for Maxie at the time. And MTV, I was doing MTV Brazil, and they asked Maxie a question because he was the super big star at that time. I was just doing backup, and he was like, "Why don't you let Shaggy answer that?" I said, "Well, you want to see my youth?" And he's like, English.
He told you
doesn't
that.
make sense. You're gonna speak like that if they kind of understand you. You know what I mean? And so I got that.
Maxie Priest told you that.
Oh yeah. He taught me. He taught me that. He's like, if you're gonna to get your message across, speak where they could understand you. You know what I mean? And but some people look at that and say, well, you sell out the thing. You know what I mean? And to me, I'm like, yeah, but I also lived in New York, and I'm kind of like I kind of adopt to if I'm in British, I get a British accent. You know what I mean?
You go where you
just
to the environment.
You know what I mean? So I just think that there's a lot of things. When we did Boombastic, it's the first dancehall record ever to debut at #1. First day out, boom, #1. Then I did it twice again with Angel and with Wasn't Me. And then we did it with the album. It's the only dancehall, to this day, the only dancehall album to ever be #1.
Boombastic.
No, Hot Shot.
Hot Shot, okay.
Yeah. Boombastic, the Boombastic single debuted at #1.
Okay.
But then the Hot Shot album, I did it also again with Wasn't Me and Angel. And on both continents, I had Summertime at #2 and Boombastic at #1 in America. #2 in America at the same time. Two different songs, 2 different continents, same artist. So there's a lot of things that we've done. I'm the first to ever be signed in 1993. We got signed for $1 million at that time. I was in a bidding war with Chris Blackwell. I wanted to be on Chris Blackwell's label so bad because that's where Bob Marley was, and I was a young kid, and I was like, yo, Jimmy Cliff, Bob Marley. But, Chris just didn't, he wasn't stepping up to the plate money-wise.
Yeah.
And Ken Berry called and gave me $1 million. And I was like, here's £1 million. And I was like, I called Chris back and was like, yo, what's up? And he was like, yeah, you never pay that much for reggae artists. And they probably thought at the time that I wouldn't do it because at the time there was no track record of reggae having a follow-up, dancehall artists having a follow-up. So me coming out of nowhere and then I don't look the part. It's like, dude look Puerto Rican. He got no red, green, and gold. He doesn't have dreads. Don't smoke weed. Okay, that's going to live. It's one song. It's a rap.
Yeah.
But Ken Berry thought different. He gave me the $1 million and gave me 2 albums for him and said, hey, give me the next song. And he walked in and actually picked Boombastic because my manager wanted Summertime to be the next single, which it did come out. But then he came in and there was a Levi's ad that was with it. And he says, I want that to be it. And big up to Ken Berry, is one of my biggest supporters, one of the best executives I've ever had. Probably the only one. As far as I could see, you know what I mean? Apart from D right now who's rocking with me.
Do we hurt ourselves though, you think, in our community? Because sometimes we equate a person's level of success with that selling out, like forgetting their roots, like losing their base. And
it is. It does bother me for a while, but then I look at motherfuckers around me and I know it, just look in their eyes and say they want to sell out just like me. They can't wait to sell out just like me, bro.
That's what selling out is.
They just can't. They just haven't done it, so they just let me criticize it for a minute. Yeah, you must sell out to them. But if they get the chance to sell out like me, they would sell the fuck out in a heartbeat.
Yeah, you got a song called "Frenemy," and one of, I listen to I'll do something different.
Clearly, when they walked in and you said that to me, I know. Okay, here's some interviews. Motherfuckers don't listen to shit. They just come in, they wing it. But that's the difference of Sway.
Yeah, no, I'm a listener, but plus I respect you and I always have, and I love your music. Even songs like Praise.
So that's not like an interview style that you just do everybody album. It's just me because you respect me.
I'm very different.
I love how you keep it real though. It's like I'm selective.
Yeah, you could go ahead and look and tell the difference. I think
I'm selective.
Yeah, nothing selective against others, but some people I feel like need to be presented on a certain echelon, on a certain level. You to me are one of the elite, top, successful artists in the business for the past 30 years, if you will, and therefore we have to talk to you as such to celebrate what you've done and also what you've gone through. And when you hear a song like "Frenemy" on the album, and you talk about you see people's true colors when the money is gone, and they only friends when you spend. It made me think, damn, what's been going on in his life?
It's a lot.
Okay, give me an example.
It's a lot. Last year has been it's been an incredible year, man. It's been a year. I did this album with Sting, and it was a bittersweet year because I made a lot of money, and I had an amazing experience. But I lost like probably around 5 people in my inner circle, and it was unfortunate because I brought them into the project at the same time too.
Okay.
Because if I'm eating, everybody eats. What I mean? So and then it just kind of raveled, and there was a level of professionalism that I think was missing. And sometimes you got to really step back and look at your circle. There was a saying I saw the other day that if you're not inspired by your circle, then you're in the cage. You know what I'm saying? So you had to kind of like look at it and just kind of figure out. And then my self-esteem was beaten down because I'm an aging artist, and I'm trying to see how I fit into this new style of dancehall and what it is, and I could only be me. And I'm at a point where my self-esteem is breaking. I have people around me now, so I'm trying to get artists. I'm bringing in other people to write, and a lot of them who are writing around, because you've never been to my studio. There's always creative people. Yeah. So if I'm the main brand, so if something get put on, I'm putting everybody on. And I'm like, okay, you write this, so that everybody could eat and get publishing and whatnot. But somewhere in the middle of that, they'll go in and think it's about them. Oh well, I make that happen. Or I made it. I'm like, nah, there's a brand here, bro. Try to do that on your own and see how fucking far you get with that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's And so it got to me to this point with this album. I just literally, once I lost them, I had an album that was already done to be put out top of the year, but then I switched and went to Sting to do the Sting album.
Which won a Grammy for Best Reggae Album.
Yeah. Wow. And this album was supposed to come out on 300, and I had to give him a new album. And so I just, because of everything, I went back in and wrote it all over in 7 days.
In 7 days. So
7 days. I just sat down in there and just wrote everything.
By yourself?
By myself. I just didn't want any writers, because you got niggas walking around saying, "Oh, I wrote all Shaggy shit," and then I'm like, "Nigga, you ain't wrote. You wrote some songs with me, but And then I got to that point. And I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna write everything myself," and I did that, and then I had to call Dean from 300 and from Brooklyn Nights and play this record to him when he already had another record, and then I played it, and he says, "You did the whole album over," and I was like, "Yeah," and he's like, "It's better than what you did before." I'm like, "Fuck."
Yeah.
I thought I thought he was like gonna be, "You need to go back to the drawing board, bro. I ain't put this shit out." And he was very pleased, and then I just kept. But it was a tough year because and then what made me realize it, I had Sting from the Police here saying to me, "Hey, you're the shit.
Right.
Here's a guy who's 19 Grammys, 150 million records, one of the greatest songwriters of all time, and he's saying, you are the shit. You are. I want to follow your lead. You are the. You know what I mean? And then I got a bunch of motherfuckers around me that are saying, but they're the shit, and you need me, and breaking your self-esteem down. And I had to just stop and look at it and say, oh, hold up. what the fuck have y'all done without me? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and then the universe, and then because of your loyalty, you'll still go. The universe has a way of weeding shit out. Because you let them, they will fucking hang themselves. You know what I mean? So you just kind of let that take place, and then I'm a better man and in a better place. But then I just had to get a lot off my chest, and which is where Frenemy came in and a couple of these other songs. You know what I mean?
Shaggy's here. 888-742-3345. We keeping it 100. Shout out to 300. Friend of me, the Alba Wagwa. Let's go.
Me work hard for your slice of the cake. While some of my
friend when you spend
them love their side. Love from the heart where we
Shaggy. Sway in the morning.
Yes, sir.
Shade 45. We like that one, huh? So where I'm at with it, Mike Blue?
See all day, baby.
Get
That
out
song
of
was
here, man.
sexy,
Get out of
man.
here, man.
Yo, Shaggy, actually,
You can see his face change when that beat dropped.
Yeah,
Poof. I see you
did,
like,
man.
ooh.
And that goes to my question, bro. Like, I was listening to you tell your story about the insecurity and the whole nine, so I wasn't expecting that type of banger to be played right away. Like, I know you talked about Sting, you know, it was like, yo, you're dope, but what was that transition point that he was like, okay, I can do this, I'm about to write this type of material? Like, what changed in you?
You know what? It's part of my confidence got built up with Sting.
Yeah.
You know, because he was so reliant on me when we were going through it. And, you know, through the tour, and I learned so much from him. I learned about the instrumentation from him. He was so meticulous about when he's doing a bass line or anything that he's playing instrument-wise, he does it 50 times. He might even come back to the first one. I was just like because I was in the whole world. Like for me, I sold Diamond, and I thought I was making bank. But then there's levels to this thing.
Okay.
And then he showed me another way of how it is done. And I'm like, you know, I remember I was touring in, I think it was in Russia or on the tour last year.
Wow.
Okay, so Russia.
And the promoter, one of the promoter came up to me and was like, he was doing a number of shows. He says, I've been promoting Sting and the Police for years. He says, I would never have booked an act like you. He says, but I'm watching you on stage and you're incredible. And he's giving me all these compliments. And I'm saying to myself, he's probably clearly saying he's never booked a black act, really.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, I might be wrong. I'm just saying, but it's just how he said it to me. It's like, I would never, you know, or maybe a reggae act. I would never book a reggae act, you know what I mean? Because these venues are venues that you're not seeing reggae in or seeing dancehall in or seeing, it's a whole different audience. If I said, in fairness to, you know, if I had 10 Jamaicans in Sting's concert at the Shaggy at the 44876 concert when we're overseas, it's a lot.
Wow.
If you had 10 Jamaicans.
If I had 10 Caribbean people in there, it's a lot. It was majority his, and the fact is they can't afford it because his ticket sales are like, you know, it's €1,500 for a floor seat for him, and I was like, wow. That's amazing. You know, cheapest ticket is $500 at some points. You know, in the U.S. one it was a little different, but a lot of these were like that, and I was like, wow. It's levels to it. It opened my eye to a lot of things, and I never thought I could meet somebody that worked harder than me.
And Sting outworked you.
I thought I was the hardest working guy because in reggae I'm definitely that guy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But this dude is at 67. It was highly competitive. Was blowing me away on a lot of shit. I was like, wow. I mean, he'll sit there and do a 5-minute plank in front of you because
5 minutes.
5-minute plank.
5-minute plank.
5 minute
At
plank.
67.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. In front of me.
Sting could do a 5-minute plank.
5-minute plank in front of me.
Yo.
I've seen him put himself on a wall and lift himself up. That's that yoga shit.
That's that tantra.
Yeah, and just
That is a different type of core.
push himself up.
Bizzle.
He's an amazing human, and he's in amazing shape.
Wow.
Yeah.
Question for thee. How did you tell that circle, that cage, that it was time to open the doors and you were leaving?
I didn't have to.
Oh.
They'll do things there's a straw that breaks the camel back. Mm-hmm. And they'll just go till that happens, and then you know at that point it's like, okay, I've had it. That's
Y'all
it.
both know it.
Yeah, and it's a wrap.
Shaggy's here. He got the new album out that's right now. Use Me is one of the singles. You is one of the singles. Wagwan is the name of the project. For those who don't know what that means, what does that mean, Shaggy?
Use me?
No, Wagwan.
Oh, Wagwan. I see. I'm like, say, if you can't figure that one out. Wagwan is a greeting. It's like we say, Wagwan, what's up? What's going on?
What's popping?
And if you look, is exclamation and a question sign simply means that it could be Wagwan, like a greeting Wagwan, or I'm telling you what's going on.
Yeah.
So in the album, it's me revealing a lot of things about me that's on of a personal nature.
We appreciate it.
like it.
For the first in my life that I've done that, actually.
Justin's on the line from Texas. Justin, go ahead, man.
Justin?
What up, Justin?
Hey.
Hey, I just wanted to know, when you made the songs "It Wasn't Me" and "Angel," like how did you bounce back, like, and change everything like that you was working on from something like that?
The success of it, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
How do I break back from the success of it?
Yeah, what does that mean?
No, I just kind of rode that to the bank, bro. I mean, you're on the level with that, man. It's, you just kind of, I'm like, whew, geez, this is a ride right here. I mean, I remember the president of MCA calling me, because I almost got dropped from that label. Cause,
Really?
Yeah, I was about to get, I had Dance and Shout Out that we did with Jam and Lewis, and it tanked. And I was about to get dropped, and then a DJ in Hawaii on I-95, I think, started playing Wasn't Me. And after its fifth play, it lit up. The phone just wouldn't stop. And it just became, it just was an epidemic at that point. So, and I remember when after it blew up, I was in South Africa promoting Wasn't Me at the time. Mm-hmm. And Angel was just starting to happen in America. And I got a call from the president of MCA, Jay Borberg, and he's like, Shaggy, you're selling half a million records a week. You're literally selling gold a week. And I'm like, okay, what's that? Because I normally don't, and he's like, you're selling more than NSYNC and these people. And I'm like, wow, it was cool. I mean, it was a great ride. And even, I met Michael Jackson. It was the same thing.
What was that like when you met Mike?
I think Mike was a gangster, bro.
Really?
Yeah, Mike was like, yeah, that wasn't me song. You wrote that shit.
He said that?
Yeah. I'm like, yo, it's like Mike is like, yeah, it's like, yo, that sounds like something I would write. And it was like, whoa. Yeah, and then he was like, he was asking about another song, Keeping It Real. Mm-hmm. And I was really taken aback by how he knew my whole album. Wow. You know what I mean? And I was like, whoa, you know what I mean? And Mike is the type of dude that he wants to know so much about you. So me meeting Michael Jackson, I have every question in the world to ask him. Yeah, but I can't get a word in because he's asking you so much about you. And I think that's what made him so great, because he was always a sponge. He always wanted to. He studies you, and then if you're hot, he's studying you. You know what I mean? And you're his bar to top. Yeah, I mean, that's a great way to do it.
It's almost competitive in a sense.
Yeah, you don't make it there unless you're highly competitive. Let's face it. You know what I'm saying?
How did through all of these ups, you as you were having success externally, internally, you were obviously dealing with a lot of things, self-esteem, aging as an artist, so on and so forth. How did that affect your relationship?
I got my young lotion that
you use. No, you look great, man.
I apply some shit.
A young lotion.
You know it, Heather. I got to use my young lotion.
How did that impact your relationship at home, though?
It's tough. It's tough. My wife is my biggest supporter. Yeah, and she supports me on it and believes in me, and she was the one that told me that whole thing when I say you gotta start writing your truth. You know what I mean? She says if you keep it just thinking that you're just doing out there and people should mention it, they will never mention it. They will never acknowledge you for it. You know what I mean? And you just got to be in their face and let it be known. And I'm like, yeah, I got to, because at this point you'd be just some forgotten dude. And I have a lot of history. I've done a lot in this game. I've done a lot of things for this genre. I love this genre. I love my country. I love this genre of dancehall. I love music. I'm even saying this now. I'm saying even on the reggae thing, there's a lot in jeopardy right now. You see, there's a movement coming from the West Coast with a lot of reggae band or white reggae band.
White, yeah.
And they're taking over the playlist. They are. It is what it is.
The white reggae artist. There's a
You know what I'm
reggae
saying? And I'm not saying this on no racial shit
Yeah.
either, because I embrace everybody who does reggae. You know what I'm saying? But the reason they're winning is that they're more organized. You know what I'm saying? And so when you come to reggae in Jamaica, I'm saying this to, for my peoples from the movement. There's a great movement out of Jamaica right now. Chronics, Protege, Coffee, great movement. That is not reflecting on the West Coast. It's not reflecting on the numbers that those other guys that are doing it. And a lot, I'm saying this out there. I might get criticized for it, and I'm saying it. A lot to do making the record and performing on stage is not work. That's fun. The work is the thing that you do not like, but now you're gonna have to master it. It's coming here early at Sway and getting up early and doing promos. I am doing promo. I don't particularly love promo. I don't want to sit there and answer the same questions over and over. And well, you're an exception. You ask some different shit, but
thank you. I know you needed to say that right there.
But for real,
Yeah.
I'm just being real. There's some people that it becomes repetitive. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like being in another time zone doing. I'm gonna leave here. I'm in Wednesday. I'm out. I do Fallon Wednesday night. Thursday night, and then I'm out right after that, and I'm going to Europe, going straight into rehearsals, and I'm doing promo all the way down to the rest of the month. I mean, I'm going to Italy, Poland, all these places to get my thing heard. I don't particularly like that, but I master it, and I do it well. And ain't nobody going to outdo me on that shit. You know what I mean? And that is what is needed. So people say they're doing the work. No, you're doing the fun. A lot of reggae acts need to realize that. And these white boys, they're doing the work.
Do you see it as appropriation now? Cultural appropriation? Or they really...
I don't look at that. I don't buy that shit.
No?
No, because I kind of want people... I've worked for years to try and get my music, this music, which was a music that didn't even have a lane. When I started doing dancehall in 1993, there was no radio station that played reggae. Stop it. You barely get it on Sunday for an hour. You know what I'm saying? I had to carve my own lane. I had to make a hybrid kind of a record, which is, Bob Marley did a hybrid record. You listen, the documentary is there on YouTube, and Chris Blackwell says, I hired session musicians to play over the Wailers stuff so I could get on rock radio. I had to sample Booker T and the MG and Marvin Gaye just to get on radio. That's what I had to do as a dancehall act. I lost money on publishing.
Yeah.
They ate all my shit up, but that's what I had to do to actually break the culture through, to get on radio, to get them to play my shit, to say, oh, dancehall. You know what I'm saying? And then I got criticized by the purists. Well, him on a real dancehall man, my youth. What that R&B music, that my youth, and rare. But now that's, if you listen, the dancehall today is really that.
Yeah.
They make me seem like I'm a genius, really, because that's their sound right now. But I could see. I said it on that record. If you listen to Wrong Room, I said some people have sight, but I got vision. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So you get to that point where you got to see what's ahead beyond that. You know what I'm saying? I have to do a hybrid, and that's what Bob did and what people, you have to do a hybrid type of a music, because what am I going to do? I'm going to go in there and make the same thing like Dennis Brown and Greg Razak and think I could top them? Are you out your fucking mind? Those guys are gods at this shit. You know what I'm saying? I got to create my own little shit. So I do a little hybrid shit. I'm the god of my hybrid shit now. You know what I'm saying? But I couldn't do what they've done and Bob and these guys have done. There's no way you're going to top that.
Shaggy.
Over the weekend, Shaggy, Tracy and I were having a conversation about just all the work, all the gods, if you will, in certain areas that we just, the naughty by natures and the different
Big up Tretch,
people.
By the way.
Yeah,
one of my
no
favorite
doubt.
people, man.
Hell yeah, Tretch and Vinny, just
Yeah,
all
Vinny,
these different groups. And maybe younger people not being familiar with their work, but us having a little more experience, knowing, well, you mentioned Dennis Brown and knowing their history and knowing what they've done, and us saluting them. When was it for you? Because it seems sometimes it's like hard for people to salute people who put the work in before. When did you immediately start understanding the history of music and why certain people were so important and acknowledging people for their work?
Great question. I'm gonna tell you why. It's a generational thing. This generation don't give a fuck. And I'm not knocking them, but they just don't give a fuck about anything. It's about now. And what makes it about now is your phone. They get all that information on there. They don't need to look. And it's some of the information is not even the right information.
Not accurate.
You on Instagram, you put up shit that people put, oh, word. You don't even realize that it could be inaccurate. You know what I mean? And if you look at it, like for instance, I remember the first time I met Barrington Levy. And I was a young kid and I was shaking because I know I've grown up on this guy and I've seen it. I remember at school, I'm doing a primary, and yellow man pull up in a yellow BMW in front of me and look at me and say, "Yacht, oh no, daughter." I'm just yellow man. I remember all this. I could tell you the history of it because I am a fan of it. I think a lot of people, because of the internet age and the phone age, they're a fan of fame.
Yeah.
They like to be famous. You know what I mean? There's a difference to being an artist and being famous. A lot of people like to be famous. They like the glamour of it. They like the jewelry. They're selling. You know what I mean? That's what it is. It's a generational thing right now. It's not that. I always did it because the people who did it before me, I admired them. I wanted to be them. I wanted to be Super Cat. I wanted to be these artists.
Absolutely.
I wanted to be Papa San. You know what I mean? I wanted all that, Shabba. You know what I mean? When Shabba come, if Shabba the type of dude, if he say something
filthy Shabba.
Yeah, if Shabba say something bad about me tomorrow, you will never see me answer.
Yeah.
That's just respect.
Respect.
He could have told me if I go suck my mother, man. I was like, all right, King, bless up, King, respect, King.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm in a dance hall with me and Shabba in a Flatbush, a DJ sound.
Wow.
Me and Cat, me and all of them man there. When I started, I'm in the same dance, a DJ. I've seen their rise, I've seen their work, and I've seen that. You know what I mean? I've just managed to maneuver through it a little longer than them, but I've seen they built it for me.
I saw. I was playing. My friend Freddie Fox, matter of fact, was playing him back a freestyle mixtape me and King Tech did in the Bay from back in '93, and we had Buju Banton on back then.
Yeah. Big concert in Jamaica the other day with Buju.
Yeah.
And to me, I had to be there. I cut what I'm doing. I looked at my calendar. They was booking everything because my team, they take away birthdays, anniversaries, every shit as long as it's promo. I'm like, yeah, Lord, I Buju date there, and I reach. I need to be there because it was history. It was part of history. It's like when Bob Marley did Smile Jamaica concert. It was one of those things you had to be there. This is history for me. And I'm happy he's out, and I just want him to get his life back, man, and do his thing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Would you collaborate with him if he reached out?
It all depends on the song.
Yeah.
I'm a little. It's song driven these days.
Okay.
If you look at my collaboration, I don't have much. I only have Nicky Jam.
Nicky Jam on there.
Yeah, that's probably the only superstar on there. I have always done songs. Heather knows this with Rayvon, who is not, he wasn't a big star, you know what I mean? But I've done a couple of songs with Rayvon on Big Up, Summertime, Angel. You know, I did Rayvon. I did it with Rick Rock, who nobody knew who he is. I did it recently with Mohambi and Fady, and they aren't super big stars. I've had luck with new art. I used a little 19-year-old kid, Alexander Stewart from Canada right now. White kid.
For the You song.
Yeah, but his voice was so complimentary to the track that I said, wow, he could do it. He could do, because I was familiar with him because my manager also co-manages him, and I'm like, yo, could Alexander do this? You know, it's like, oh yeah, and he did it.
Put him on.
I put him on. You know what I mean? So this is my collab. I love Shensia though.
Yeah.
I think she's one of the most dynamic things coming out of Jamaica.
She's on Supernatural joint.
Yeah, she's on Supernatural. And
Stacey.
Oh God, I love Stacey. Stacey is an amazing writer. She wrote the hook on that joint. You know, for me though, Stacey is this.
You got Is it Nayanda on Makeup Sex?
Nayanda Makeup Sex, yeah. You like
Makeup
that
Sex.
record, right?
I like that record.
Yeah, that's the Kelly brothers, man. It's Dave Kelly. Dave Kelly, my producers are Dave Kelly, Tony Kelly, Dwayne Shippey, Shane Husang, and Martin Kirstenbaum.
That's a nice song. She sounds great on it too.
Yeah.
Shaggy, I know you got to go to this next interview, man, but much respect.
Yes.
Dope.
I'm always gonna keep you on a pedestal. Like
Thank you, my
feel,
brother.
like you feel about Ashaba.
Right.
Is how I feel equally about you, man.
Heather, it's nice to see you. Always great.
Always.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Loving
right.
you. Big up my brother.
Okay.
It's always good. You guys have been keeping it well here in the serious, man.
No, come on, we
I'm
make
gonna
it.
go up there, go tell Scott.
Go tell Scott.
Tell Scott right now, get that pay raise ready.
Hey, man. Shaggy, man. Wagwan, ladies and gentlemen. That's the name of the album. Here's the song You with Alexander Stewart, Sway in the Morning.